here, of course, I mean, we've got one person holding it down for the Carolinas, the pride of the Carolinas and Peabnut. But for now, we'll see how he fares against somebody that ultimately has been a fairly big bracket demon for him in MuteAce. 7-1 is their set count in MuteAce's favor.
Yeah, it's not very often you can find someone that's able to take 7 sets off of Peab, especially with that level of disparity. So his work is definitely cut out for him as we go into this Game 1 of Winners Finals here. Best of 5, you already know the deal. And this is for a ticket to Grand Finals winner's side. You know Peab wants to break no home for the hometown. Okay, well,
again,
you can only fight off the voodoo magic for so long.
It's crazy. Pulled 2 Mr. Saturns in like the last game of their last set. They pulled a bomb and 5 Stitch Faces in a game before that. Insanity. At Patchwork specifically, how lucky MuteAce gets with every pull.
I feel like he's lucky everywhere. Like we're getting to that point where if MuteAce just needs something to happen, he usually will into existence.
Right now, Peabnut holding center stage. This ultimately is going to be a matchup of how much Peabnut can press every single advantage state, because if you are on stage in neutral or, God forbid, shielding against Peach, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to deal with. And if you're juggled, even worse.
Yeah, playing defense or being forced to play defense against Peach is objectively the wrong answer. You got to be able to press the buttons, beat her to the spots, or else it's just going to be a whirlwind. You know, she's a moving fortress. Not something you would expect coming out of a character. Okay, he did make it back. Good.
It does get scary with that down air, though. You know, you never want to be in that position if you don't have to be.
Yeah, I usually also don't trust Peach to recover when she's not currently on screen, like vertically.
Yeah.
Like horizontally, she got that all day. I'm never concerned. But as soon as she dips below the camera, it's like, oh well. Does she have those? We'll see.
Trying to get back to center stage. Happy to play to the corners right now, but ultimately, if you can get that center position and press MuteAce into a bad area, then you're not playing defense against Peach. You're not in that position that you have to be in, which is difficult. And this is really the danger spot right here. Off stage versus Peach is so difficult to deal with that turn-in.
Yeah, it is, but you saw Peab maneuver on that masterfully, and he's able to turn it into a stock of his own on the left-hand side. So you are going to get the early advantage here, but now we have to start building up that extra credit damage. A low percent Kung Fu. Shout out to Rod. We're going to have to find a way to make it work here so we can get some damage, because Peach is not shy of damage output at all. So the bigger that you make that lead, the better.
Well, no better character to pellet on damage than the character with pellets. Just 2% at a time, playing very slow, not letting MuteAce in, but so slowly approaching with shield. MuteAce is so patient.
Yeah, it's one of his superpowers, I feel like. Besides being able to, will the powers of the universe against you specifically, the patience. So good in those last hit situations. We've seen it time and time again, year after year. They're just so good in the clutch. But what they don't get enough credit for, I feel like, is how good they are outside of the clutch. Just being able to wait out these certain situations, not fall into those traps that clutch many players and many other parts of the game.
And this is a very different skill set in that regard than we just saw in MuteAce's set against Omega, where playing in the clutch was every single moment. Yep. Omega only knows how to press the gas, and MuteAce knows how to respond to that. But Peabnut is always the driver of the momentum in every game he plays. And so MuteAce has to be the one to respond to playing slower, to whatever Peabnut's pace is. And right now, it's not looking too easy to do so. Peabnut's still pressing right now, 84%. Finally on the back foot. MuteAce juggling. Not a lot of great tools for Mega Man to get back down to the ground, but a B-reverse leaf shield gets him out of danger, if only for momentarily.
All right, 90% to 46, already in the corner. You would ideally like to play this lead out from center, but if Peab is comfortable in this from these positions where it seems like he should be, because he got out of the corner and just went right back to the left-hand side. But yeah, if you're comfortable playing there, then you keep playing there. Establish that game early. But now it's dead even here in percent, practically 90 to 89. Got MuteAce off stage, see if he can convert anything here from the ledge.
Nothing's
playing it patient.
Getting back to center. I think that's a totally fair way to play this out. I think that Mega Man ultimately has a lot of tools to keep Peach in disadvantage, specifically when you are below Peach. But whenever Peach is off stage, it's a lot riskier to give up stage positioning, to go for like a risky down air or to go for any sort of edge guard, because the second that you're on the back foot, again, you don't want to give MuteAce the driver's seat. You don't want to let MuteAce control the momentum. That's the only thing that you have as Mega Man in this matchup, the ability to control pace.
All right, going to push Mute off stage yet again. Hopefully this is the time to get a conversion for a stock right here, but not going to be able to get any dice there either. Ooh, no tech, but thankfully it's not a stock just yet, but you're off stage, which is almost just as bad, especially when MuteAce has that turnip in hand.
Okay. Just a little bit of ticky-tacky on there, but fighting back with the Leaf Shield. And
there we
Peabnut
go.
Converts it.
Something, anything. But it took you 157% to get to that point. Peach is going to be able to rip that stock off very, very quickly. Next strong hit will probably do it, especially on the sides right here. Looking for that float back here, probably some sort of mix-up to find one. Oh, I think even a Nair at super close to ledge could do it here.
Yeah, it's definitely not quite as strong a position as Peabnut had in stock 1. Now that we've come to stock 2 right now, anything will do. Any sort of Nair, like you said, any aerial will easily take the stock. Right now, playing so unbelievably patient, though.
Yeah.
Peabnut not getting anywhere close enough, and MuteAce said, I don't care if you're not getting close to me, I'm going to get close to you.
Yeah,
Press the attack.
I will close that space. But, and like, what are you going to do against Peach, though, right?
Exactly.
Like, I feel like you have to sort of demand that space away from her because we all know what she's capable of in the close quarters combat. So I'm not trying to deal with that. I know you weren't. I know Peeb isn't. So I'm just going to stay as far away from her as possible. And if she manages to get in, cool, good on you. You know, you made that happen. But I'm not going to make it happen myself.
And that ultimately is also information for the next time, right? That's the one thing that MuteAce did that broke Peabnut's, I guess, momentum for that moment. And so Peeb's going to think twice now, especially on a long stage like PS2, about giving any sort of space. Run all the way to the corners if you have to, but don't be in MuteAce's burst range. Keeping this tether right now with Crash Bombers, with Metal Blades. Finally getting up close and personal, but the Leaf Shield isn't going to connect.
Yeah, whenever Peeb decides it's time to get close, it's really just so he can force some sort of reset situation. He's not really going in looking for any sort of like aggressive option, not really trying to push. Oh, but now we're off stage, and look at that damage deficit just be erased entirely. And now we're in the corner, fighting his way out with the Leaf Shield, though. This is a critical juncture in this first game. The first game of the set will dictate a lot of. Wait, hold on, wait a minute. There's 15 seconds.
Whoa,
wait a minute,
God,
wait a minute.
Are we sure the timer's right?
Have we been in timeout mode for the past minute and a half and we just didn't notice?
Did we set the time correctly? We got 5 seconds left.
Do they know how much time is left? I mean, they gotta know now.
Peabnut is running. You have Umbrella. It's the only thing you can do. Oh my God. And that's timeout number 1.
I'm going to be honest, that did not feel like 7 minutes.
No, it didn't.
It didn't feel like 7.
Because I think the thing is, when you're watching MuteAce play in Advantage, it does feel like a sport. It feels like you're watching basketball, a lot of back and forth. But whenever Peabnut is in Advantage, it's a sermon. You are sat, you are listening, and then suddenly 2 hours have passed, and you don't even realize it. I don't go to church.
I haven't gone in years, brother. Don't worry. God is nowhere near this venue, as indicated from some of that gameplay we saw in that game. Going the full timer to get the victory. Do what you got to do.
It's timeout meta. We're in 2025.
Yeah,
we know it.
We are done approaching.
It doesn't matter who was going to make it to this top 4. You know, Lima's out of the bracket, but it would have been happening with Lima too. But Peabnut's carrying the torch for the Carolinas and for the timeout Carolinas at that.
Hell yeah. All right, well, we're going to go to shiny PS2 this time around. It's going to take a small battlefield. Should work out a little better for MuteAce in terms of being able to secure those kills just because the blast zones are different here.
It's also a slightly smaller bottom platform on the stage, so you don't have as much space for Peabnut to run away. It makes the gameplay a whole lot more volatile, which I think MuteAce, like we talked about, generally strives in the clutch situations. And if you can force any sort of advantage to make things a lot trickier or dicier for Peabnut, that's probably going to benefit Mute.
Yeah, definitely. All right, waiting for the tech right there, but the tech doesn't come out. Definitely throw off the game plan a little bit because there's no follow-up off that down throw. But it's okay because we're still getting that damage somehow, some way.
Peeb trying to take back the steering wheel right now, but can't find any way to do so. MuteAce continuing to press. Finding an edge guard here. Nothing doing. Peeb's going to be able to get back with the platforms. Just sitting for a moment here as Peabnut, again, trying to find momentum, but doesn't have it yet, right? Mute is still kind of, I think, maintaining the momentum for this, keeping the pace. Having the percentage advantage is definitely helpful for that, but Peeb hasn't been able to really take over just yet.
Definitely not. Nair is going to send Peeb way off stage. Got to do a little tricky recovery to get around all of the options we had available to him, but he finds a way back on the stage at 145. You're not going to be able to hold on the stock for too much longer.
Nope.
Speak of the devil, they will appear. Float back air from Peach yet again, claims another stock.
Going to be a very useful option against Peabnut, right? Mega Man does not have a lot of great out-of-shield options, and definitely nothing that's fast enough to punish instant float cancel back air.
A quick little 29.
rack on some damage. This is, I think, the first time that MuteAce has had the stock advantage and continuing to rack up a whole lot more extra credit than Peabnut was able to do in any of the stocks of Game 1.
That's just the inherent advantage the character has, right? Because, again, Peach from, like, 0 up until, like, 70 is a god character, essentially. So once you fall behind against Peach, that lead is going to balloon. Best believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Just sneaking behind that regular get up. The classic. I have a backdoor got kills. I guess what I'm going to try to do here.
It really is the classic.
Just
it's like
take a guess.
Just back throw. And it does even up the stocks. 94%, nothing to scoff at. But ultimately, it really is about Peabnut getting back in the driver's seat. Because that's where Peabnut thrives, is being able to take control. Peabnut is 100% a momentum-based player. In that, not that they like just continue to press the attack with momentum, but when they have momentum, they get to keep it. They don't give you any of it.
And their bag of trips are very, very deep. So when you're in the lead, you get more liberty with actually being able to go into the bag, pick something out. So definitely prefers being in the lead. And also, it's Mega Man. Like, this character kind of needs to be ahead, or at the very least even, because trying to make comebacks with the character is not the easiest thing to do. Pete makes it look very easy. A lot of the top Mega Men make it look easy, but I promise y'all it's not inherently in the character's build to be a comeback character like that.
Especially when your set count against MuteAce, you're down 7 games to 1, and you were able to even up a stock percentage-wise when you were down 90%, and suddenly you're both at kill percentage. That's not something that just every Mega Man is able to do.
Yeah. All right, catching the turn. I'm going to make sure to... Well, I thought it was going to be useful in some way.
It should have been.
He had an idea.
The thought was there.
He did. The thought was definitely there.
We had concepts of a plan. Dash attack, keeping MuteAce on the ground right now. So enjoying this lead. Really relishing in it right now, knowing that Peabnut has to press back. And that's exactly where MuteAce wants it.
Yep. Turn up in hand and trying to make use of it right here. Probably looking for a confirm into a back air or a mega upper, something of the sort, just to even up these stocks. But you're already a full stock down. All right, Metal Blade back here is going to help with the case a little bit, but we need to start wrapping up stocks here for Peabnut, or else this game 2 is about to be, not for the long of us.
No edge guard coming out, but trying to keep the ledge trap hot without getting up center stage, backing up and forward smashing, and then running up and throwing.
Yeah, they're at least doing a very good job at that, though. Like, if we're not going to get the edge guard, I'm locking down the ledge. Oh, well.
As quickly as we said it.
That's crazy. Why'd you say that?
Like,
why would you say
can't
something?
put this on me. This is not fair.
All right, hold on. Float bear in the ledge. Thankfully, Peab was able to tech away right there, because that could have been a very devious situation. Finally gets a stock, but you're taking 120. That's a hefty toll, man.
That is quite literally at ledge a back air, and you are gone. And you can see MuteAce fishing for it. So Peabnut has started to take to the air a little bit more, not trying to play the grounded game anytime that he is in MuteAce's burst range.
Yeah, it's very tough trying to avoid that, like, that bubble Peach wants to put you in, because she's very good at that. She's very good at boxing you to one part of the stage, and then when you realize where you are, you're like, oh, wait, this situation is worse than when she was, like, flagging me down. But Peab is doing a pretty good job at avoiding those situations, but even when you do avoid them, she's just so good at getting damage in other parts of the game. 173, though. We're looking at a wrapped-up game right here. Floating air on the neutral get up, somehow missing. He doesn't really miss those.
No.
So you gotta take that one and run to the bank. Go ahead and cash that one in.
Yeah, Peabnut is definitely taking this one to the bank. 50% and rising. I wanted to end it all right there.
Luckily, it covers with the leaf shield. And the A button for MuteAce is not online because they have the Metal Blade in hand. And speaking of the Metal Blade, back in Peabnut's possession in game 2 in his possession after that conversion off stage at 50 what? What was that? 55
I gotta see that again. Oh my God.
Disgusting.
It's not even like full coverage. It was just a read.
Not full coverage, but it covered everything I needed.
Look at this angle on the Metal Blade reversal. The plan.
Put the swag on it, too. He wasn't even facing him. Oh, my God.
He had the plan from the moment he jumped off stage because he jumped off in reverse.
Yep.
Insane that it worked out that well. And Peabnut steals the second game.
I'm going to roar jump. I'm going to throw the Metal Blade behind me downwards, and I'm already going to be facing backwards. I'm going to access my best aerial to get the kill, steal the game. We're talking about going to the bank. It's Sunday. I don't care. I'm going to the back.
Oh, my God. By the time you finish that bit, already Peabnut's lost the stock.
Yeah, I don't think he was a big fan of losing all of his savings after that game, too. He's fighting back. He's fighting the government. Give me my damn money.
Oh, my God. MuteAce does not want to have to go to the loser side of bracket. It makes it a whole lot harder to get the three-peat on Patchwork, you know?
Oh, yeah, they are fighting for the three-peat, huh?
Yeah, but Peabnut's fighting for the title back for the region. Okay. All right.
I don't know. It feels like people just get hit by that. Like, people just do that up tilt, and it reaches these, like, these small Battlefield, like, PS2 level platforms.
Yeah.
And it's, like, virtually lagless, so you just pop another one.
Right.
If you press a button on landing, I just get a free 30.
Which is, by the way, crazy to say that it's virtually lagless.
I don't know why they did that.
It does look like it. When you get hit by it, it feels like you can't punish it.
Yeah, right.
And when you have that landing lag basically stuffed out by the platformer, which we keep seeing right there, it is virtually lagless if you get hit by it. But it is just crazy to think about this move that is so iconic for how much landing lag it has. Okay. Back in the driver's seat, though, MuteAce. We saw this is how Game 2 went. I'm not counting Peabnut out at any moment, at any time anymore.
Yeah, when we get, I was about to say, when we get 2 full stocks up, then we'll start talking about, is that a stitch? Yo, come on, man.
This is crazy. Can we check the disc? Crash Bomber tacks on more damage, but damage is not what Peab needs at the moment.
Yeah, we need stocks.
We need stocks.
Yeah, we're done with meals.
Finally finding it.
We're done with snacks, rather. Need a whole meal. Found it right there with that parry up tilt. And we are going to get on the board finally, but still a full stock down is Peabnut. Got to get something rolling right here. But MuteAce is looking like they have all the momentum in the building on their side at this moment in time.
I love the tomahawk down tilts.
And even after that, the grab just mixing Peab up entirely. Now you're at the ledge. 104.
Goodbye.
Down tilt into forward air, and that looked true as hell. Probably was because it scooped from the ledge.
Goodbye, part 2.
Really?
That Nair takes it.
God, that Nair's so strong.
I mean, did he try to pellet back to stage?
Probably. Either that or he just hit jump, but
Right.
he was high percent, so it wasn't like super duper invincible.
I see.
It's crazy.
My MuteAce fighting back. A very dominant Game 3.
Yeah, had to prove something. And I understand.
Yes. When you
Heard loud and clear.
Yeah.
My king.
Present.
Loud and clear.
We're seated. No longer Peabnut's sermon right now.
Yeah. What time is it right now? It's like 7 o'clock?
Yep.
Yeah, church is out. Get out of here. I got work in the morning.
MuteAce stealing back the sermon like the righteous gemstones.
I wish I understood that.
I know, it's a TV show. It's
Okay. That
you
makes
should
sense.
watch. Actually, I think you would.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it
Right
later.
now isn't a good time?
Yeah. Maybe not, but we'll see depending on how the pace of this game goes.
Yeah, that's true. We already did see one timeout.
Yep, and we are back on the stage in which that timeout happened. We're back to the original venue in question. Peabnut up 2-1 on Mute in this best of 5. Again, punching the ticket to winner finals, or winner side of grand finals, excuse me.
True.
A lot on the line here because winning that tournament from the winner side is a lot easier to do than from the loser side.
Something that we saw in MuteAce's last 2 sets that we haven't really gotten to see against Peabnut is a strong opening off of a down tilt. Like we've seen already a down tilt hit. Usually that converts into 40-50% for Peach, and for MuteAce it has been very successful this tournament. But every time I feel like he gets an opening, I don't think it's that he's not converting. I think Peabnut's just ready for it, instantly DIing out and not getting hit by the follow-up.
I think it's also just the positioning, because that is one thing Peab is very good at. Just like his opponent, positioning. Very, very good, very, very solid. Doesn't really get caught in uncomfortable or sluggish movement situations. So even when Mute does get those down tilts, they're usually not like at smack center stage.
Right.
Like the one down tilt that I can vividly remember him getting was when he was hanging on the ledge, for example.
Right.
So I think that also plays a big part in it.
Yeah, Peabnut is so good at stage positioning. Normally you see characters, a lot of the cast just likes to have center stage, especially characters like Peach, where you don't have the best tools to. Another Mr. Saturn throws it away. Doesn't want it.
Bro, we're getting so lucky. Like, we have just so many riches, right? I make so much money a year. MuteAce is just tossing $100 bills at all of us with this RNG, and we just have to hold that.
And he just threw the Mr. Saturn away, by the way. I think he's just tired of it. He doesn't want any chance of putting a really strong tool into his opponent's hands, especially when you have to shield as much as you do against Mega Man, against pellets. If you, at any point, get hit by Mr. Saturn and shield, you're done. So just throwing it away, I like the idea. I think that makes sense. Again, specifically against Mega Man, you are shielding a whole lot more than he is.
Yeah. Oh,
That was funny.
Yeah, that was very good awareness. A lot of people would not have hit that tech just because they're not even thinking about playing defense right after getting someone off him like that. But he knew exactly where he was. He knew it was around him. Hit that tech at perfect timing. No conversion on the crash bomber, but they were thinking about it. You can very clearly see they had something lined up just a little to the left.
I can't believe MuteAce was swinging with Crash Bomber on head. I wonder if that was his attempt at mixing up Peabnut, but Peabnut was ready for it.
Yeah, because people are usually ready to sit and shield when the crash bomber is on them, so it makes sense. Just mix them up, throw off his timing.
Peabnut not getting mixed by that. Evening the stocks back up. So offstage gameplay has not been super fruitful for either of them. I feel like mostly they're just trading when they're at the ledge. But if they can find a strong ledge trap or surprise, like what just happened right there, surprising MuteAce with your ability to get in range and cast the forward air. Oh my God!
How often do you see a combo that has 2 down airs in it?
What was that?
That's kind of sick. It got conversions for everything.
I couldn't think. I was just watching that insanity.
All right, now we're just going for a personal best. How many down airs can I get in one stock? We're at 3 right now. Can I get a 4th?
Oh.
He'll work on it. I trust him.
Peabnut, I don't think really wants to be above MuteAce if he can help it. I think it's more of like a, if I have to be here, I will down air.
Yeah, I will come out with some defense. I'm not leaving that house unprotected.
Choosing to go back to PS2 because you want to play horizontally a whole lot more than vertically. But hey, if the down air fits.
Good patience out there from Mute, not trying to rush his way off that ledge because it could have been a very devious setup for a lot of damage as he dropped Metal Blade into the back air. Exactly what people's looking for.
I've got my eye on the timer this time, 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, we're already halfway through the game. We're on our second stocks. We were talking about the possibility of a timeout. It's very, very slowly creeping towards reality, I think.
Potential is definitely here. Yeah, not a whole lot of advantage state, I feel like, being played on either side. It's mostly just 1-piece, 2-piece reset. There's not long strings that have been happening for the most part for either of them. Of course that benefits Peabnut, right? Nickel and diming is the name of Mega Man's game. But Peach wants to get these combos into a lot high damage or into stock confirms. MuteAce hasn't found a single one this entire set.
Oh, tried to pop the up air right there on MuteAce's spot dodge. It would have worked, and it probably would have got the KO at 138 on a floaty, I'd like to believe. But unfortunately, a little too slow on the draw, so MuteAce will hold on to his stock for just a bit longer. Ugly scramble at center stage. Back throw is going to get MuteAce off the stage. Edge guard situation / ledge trap possibly coming up. And can this be the stock right here? Plays it passively because we have projectiles to do the job for us.
I like it. It's like you're playing against a Mega Man boss at that point, right? You have to jump over the Metal Blade, but you forgot there's another one coming right behind it, and it's a little bit faster, and you're not in time to double jump, so you had to double jump beforehand. Didn't matter too much ultimately.
There we go.
MuteAce cleans that stock up, keeps it even.
And we have 1:45 remaining. We are looking sharply at the clock this time, and I bet they both are after that game 1 as well. So maybe that changes the way that they play this last stock out. Maybe it becomes more percent-based than it is about, okay, let me try to wrap this up. But we will have to see how it plays out for these next 2 minutes. The ugliest 2-minute drill you may have ever seen. Coming right up.
Okay, this is huge. It should have been a big opening right there for Peabnut, but not expecting MuteAce to go out right there. Trading back damage. They're throwing damage at each other because they know at this point nickel and diming is all the spare change that you need to eat this meal.
Yep. All right, Crash Bomber on.
No way.
Tries to run away. That's such unfortunate timing on their part. They were probably tracking it mentally and just lapsed a little bit because you clearly run away because you don't want to give Crash Bomber extensions, but then he got one anyway.
Right, or at the very least percentage. With 50 seconds left on the clock, I feel like MuteAce at this point, I mean, patient as he is, isn't playing so much for nickel and diming anymore. He's looking for whole quarters, $half.
I didn't even know they still made $half. You're still looking for him. That's crazy.
Maybe that's the issue. Peabnut looking to do another timeout, 30 seconds on the clock,
and
30%.
Almost 30% up. Oh, and that's going to be it. Yeah,
Doesn't need it.
That trap right there, when you're already stuck in the air shooter, anything Mega Man wants to follow you up with is cheating.
Yeah.
It's cheating straight up. But it's okay. I'm fine with cheating and stealing even on a Sunday. It does not matter. Anything to get the dub, and P was going to bring home the dub to the Carolinas. Grand Finals winner's side. Rocking it for the homeboys.
It's the first time I feel like that the Carolinas have been in grand finals of a Patchwork. I'm not sure that was Peabnut in grands for 2023?
2023, I actually don't know. I would have to go back. We'll go back and do our research because it's already very quickly becoming a lot of history for this event. Makes me very happy for these guys, very proud of these guys. And if we get someone from the Carolinas in grands, which you already have, awesome. If they can